What's up, my people? So as you can see, I'm in the middle of the woods here, and I'm off on an archaeoastronomy. What's up, Kuzo? I'm off on an archaeoastronomy expedition here, and you see these rock walls are in the middle of the woods. They run parallel to each other and in circles. It's almost like the Ouroboros with two snakes. And you see the pyramid. There's a pyramid. There's a pyramid stone right there. Yeah, it's beautiful out today. Also, if anybody wants to support me, you could do that at my PayPal at themysticalspiral.com. Also, you can find me on Truth Frequency Radio every Saturday night at tfrlive.com/Eye of Ra. Look at that pyramid stone, and look at, we have rock walls running, see, all along here. Goes deep, and then parallel to it all along here. And this whole area was inhabited by Native Americans, and this was done before the settlers got here. And this land was deeded to the settlers. Mahatma's on site. What's up, brother? Yeah, text me. This whole land over here was deeded to the settlers. It's now owned by Roman Catholics. I've never took you guys back here. I never even knew about this section of the woods. What's up, Jess? And why would two stones? This is not for cattle, all right? This was not made for cattle, these stone walls. And there's two right close to each other, next to each other, and you can see even this one's a pyramid stone right here. And these huge stones are lined up. This is a bisected wall, and it runs parallel with another wall. And they are snake effigies. And I'm doing some work with archaeoastronomy and Google Earth, and it's my opinion that this is a snake effigy, and it is linked with the Draco constellation and the equinox and the solstices, and that these were literally set up for some sort of archaeoastronomy. And like I said, this whole land was, I hope there's a good feed. I hope there's not, it's all checkered and stuff. I hope it's a good feed right now. This whole land, just had to hang up. There was a phone call coming in. And once the land of the Havistraw Indians, and even different clans of the Ramapo. Wow. You could see all around us is rock walls. They're circling around us. I just passed those two rock walls, but this all here is another rock wall. And this, I feel, which I'm coming up to now, I just walked past here before. It's my first time here. We'll go back a little bit onto the trail. From the trail here, you could see it's sort of like a bird stone right here, or some sort of serpent head coming out, or bird's head coming out of the ground. It looks like a bird stone, the head of a bird, or the head of some sort of dinosaur type creature, right? It could be molded to look like that, and it's literally coming out of the ground, and it's attached by a rock wall. So it's like some sort of serpent effigy. And as we come up, and I wanted to continue the discussion I did this morning. Look at the white trees, amazing. This is straight out of a horror movie, some of this woods back here. The way the trees all pull in one way, it's pretty intense. But it's beautiful at the same time. You can see this was some sort of huge spiritual landscape. I think it, a lot of it has been destroyed now, but you could see all these rock walls, they circle around, and then you have this one big stone seemingly in the middle of the circle. I put that white rock on it before to mark it. I found this amazing white rock here. I put this on this stone before to mark it so I knew. But this looks like ancient Ogham script, almost like Celtic and Druid script. You see these lines? That is ancient Indian, Native American, or Ogham script. They would use this. This proves that Vikings and ancient Celts, Nordics were once here as well, way before the natives. And that, in my opinion, is Ogham or Ogham script. You can see these rock walls go all the way through. And these definitely, before the settlers got here, these rock walls were here. Pretty intense. I just forgot to bring my compass. So I wanted to see if they run north, south, east, west. But like I was saying this morning, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what they call automatic writing. I was discussing the Atlanteans and the people of the Atlantis. I said it was North Africa, but I made a mistake. It's actually West Africa. Herodotus talked about this. Herodotus spoke of an ancient people from West Africa that were vegetarians, and they did not have their sleep interrupted by dreams. Not only that, but they cursed the sun daily. They were a people who were doing magical incantations towards the sun, and when these incantations failed, they cursed the sun and would call down the moon for power. And we all know that in Thessaly, in Greece, ancient Italy, ancient Europe, they speak about, in many traditions, about calling down the moon and calling down the moon for power, and how some of the ancients would curse the sun because of how it scorched them, and as they were degenerated morally, they cursed the sun. And these people said to come from West Africa, and now this ancient Atlantis race, which I think went from the whole North Mid-Atlantic ridge all the way down. These are the same people in West Africa that named Mount Atlas. And Atlas is basically the ancient continents of Lemuria and Atlantis. And Atlantis is now submerged and on the ocean floor. And these are the same ancient civilizations who I believe produced the technology that we would call the nocturnal sun, or the black sun. Some sort of underground energy that produces free energy and radiation of radiating pulses of energy that the Rosicrucians and other secret societies call Vrill energy. This is where the Nazis got a lot of their information from. And like I spoke about this morning, the Nazis in Germany, northern Germany, I think it's Bremen, had a whole school of Atlantis. And good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, actually. Hey, Simba, I'm going to get to the automatic writing, Simba. I know you're waiting. The School of Atlantis was, I think, in 1935, to educate the people on the history of Atlantis and to educate them on what they believed was a super gene, their super Aryan race. Look at this trail I'm on. Pretty dope. Crazy. And when we come out of the trail, there's another rock wall at the top. Now, I wanted to talk about automatic writing. Now, a lot of people out there think this is the devil's hand. And let me tell you, you can tap into dark and evil forces if someone has this ability. And I do believe I was either born with it or it happened because of my near-death experience that brought it out. And it's pretty intense because I feel it's connected to the electricity of our planet, the electric impulses and signals that we get through the electricity of our body and the electricity of Earth and the planet. And I think it is connected to this Vrill energy and the sun and the moon energy and the electricity throughout our whole bioenergetic system. What's up, John? And if you, and I'm going to get to what it is in a second, but if you ever do anything like this, or if you use this technique and you're in a bad spot, or you have bad thoughts, bad intentions in your mind, hate in your mind, if you're not grounded, any sort of bad space you're in and you use this, you can tap in to the dark elements of our multi-dimensional universe, and basically they can manipulate your cravings, your desires, your emotions, and manipulate your patterns and your cravings and that sort of behavior, which can literally consume you. So if you're a person who has like dark, sexual, violent thoughts and you use this ability, it can literally cause you to be a serial killer. It could it can manipulate you. It can corrupt you. It can inhabit you. And it can take over your whole system. And the fluids that are circulating throughout the planet and throughout your body can be corrupted with a virus. See, now I'm coming up to another rock wall that takes us out of here. I'm just trying to find this. So if anyone is to use this ability or technique, it's only got to be with pure intentions in mind, when you're completely in a good space. Otherwise, I don't recommend it at all. And most people do not have this ability to either get information through writing words or pictures through what is called automatic writing. Now, the first time I was conscious of this, and everybody, if you're just joining us, if you want to support me, you could donate at themysticalspiral.com at my PayPal, and I will send anybody a little package. Even if you want to donate a few dollars, I'll send you a little keychain amulet. Just hit me up. Also, for my patrons, $8 and up platforms, we're going to be having a Zoom chat either tonight or tomorrow night. See, look at this rock wall I'm coming up on. And I woke up feeling inspired. I started writing a song this morning, and I've been in a funk lately because of a lot of stuff, a lot of pressure that I've been under, a lot of hard times, and I finished with that frustration. I've been, a lot of things I had to clear out of me, a lot of readings I had done for like many years that were a lot of things that were building up in me, and I had to like take care of myself for a few months, and my health was getting affected, and I had to learn how to laugh at myself again, and I had to learn how to laugh at the world again and not take everything so seriously. And you know, we need to look at how that fits perfectly in place too on this rock wall. Look at this right here. Just notice that. Look at that. That is amazing. I'm gonna climb out of here now. So the first time, so this is all the way, these other rock walls we were just going to was all the way down there. And look at down this trail when we look down this. Like literally everything is like pulling towards one way. Check this out. When you look at the trail from one end, wait, oh, I gotta go all the way back down there. But at one point of the trail, everything is like pulling to the left. It's pretty intense. So, if you guys are following my work and you know about my experiences and things that I've been through, I feel like I had some sort of DMT release at my birth when the umbilical cord was wrapped around my neck and I was born in call. There were forces already trying to hang my ass when I was born. Already trying to lynch me with my own cord the second I came into this earth. My first breath, I had to fight for life, literally. And there were forces trying to hang me with my own cord. And I believe at that moment there was a DMT release. And then I had a massive head injury and an operation to save my life when I was 9 years old. And that was the first year that I remember ever doing automatic writing. And it came naturally. I had no clue what it was when I was 9 years old. See, we come out to the field that I was at this morning. Okay, now we're in this huge open field. So, oh, they're all fossils, all those rocks. So the first time I remember doing this was when I was 9 years old. And I've told the story a couple of years ago on a video, and I figured I'd do it a little bit more because that video got like swept underneath the carpet. Not many people have seen it, and so you can't see the rock wall here, but there's rock wall all along here. All along there is a rock wall. So basically, I don't want to get into my near-death experience. You guys have heard me talk before, but that same summer, right before school started, I had a pretty hard year. So my parents took us for a vacation. Me, my mom, and my dad. My brother and sister were already grown up and out of the house, pretty much. They were in their early 20s at this time. So my parents took us to Disney in Orlando, Florida. And I just had a near-death experience a month or two before. And things were really changing in me. And, I would even hear music differently. Everything was different. And I never had boogie boarded before. So that whole week at the beach and Disney and everything, I was having really intense experiences. I had an out-of-body experience that I've talked about. And wow, look at this. Look at these huge stones right here. Wow. So I had an out-of-body experience right in my hotel room, in the Hilton hotel room, where I saw all these reptilian-type creatures around my body. And it was a whole different experience that I've talked about before. But that same day, I think, or a day later, I was on the beach. And see, these are balancing rocks. They're balancing on smaller little stones underneath. People, it's hard to see, but I'm pretty sure the sunrise, it's aligned with these rocks. I got to go on Google Earth to look at it, but a lot of these are like sun alignments and solstice alignments on these rock walls. So when wow, it's amazing. So when I was on the beach, I was so tired from the waves and boogie boarding, which I never did before, and I never had really been in the ocean that much before, that I was like so dead tired, almost like in a trance, walking on the beach. And I remember little bits and pieces of it, but what I do remember really stuck with me, especially later on in life when it came back. See, look, and now this wall that's going along, look, it also runs down this whole way here. Look at that. It goes for a long ways too. It's like a snake. I feel it's a snake effigy. So I was standing on the beach and I started to walk away from like where my mom and stuff was, a little down the shoreline, and I can feel like inertia creep. It was weird. Like I could feel things slowing down, like it was gonna hit me and make me all like I was all sluggish, and it was like an energy that I was feeling in the air. And in Florida, it could just rain out of like nowhere. See, this is very interesting how this alignment is here, how these rocks are. They're all balancing on smaller little stones. And in Florida, it's pretty interesting, the weather patterns there, because like it could rain out of nowhere for like 5-10 minutes, and then 5 minutes later it's completely sunny again. A lot of sun showers in Florida as well. And I remember standing on the beach and I could feel the inertia just creep on me, and I was looking up at some rain clouds that were coming in, and they were coming up over the horizon, and I was standing right where the water meets the sand, you know, where the tide comes in, where the waves come in. I was standing right there, and I remember looking up at the clouds, and I remember just feeling like inertia, said, if that's the right word, like almost like inertia creeping on me, like something that was slowing me down. And I remember looking up at the sky, and it wasn't lightning, but it was like electricity. I saw electric, almost like lightning, but it was going sideways in the clouds. It wasn't like lightning coming straight down. It was like going sideways into the clouds. And I looked around. I like followed it around. I saw it go around the whole. It seems like it went around the whole planet, like around the whole sky that I could see, and then came around, and it came into me, like it came towards me, and I felt like an electrical surge. And then I must have, everything blacked out for a moment, I think, because the next thing I remember, I don't remember ever sitting down or anything, but the next thing I remember, after looking up at that electricity in the sky and feeling a surge in me, the next thing I remember, I'm sitting on the sand, and I had like a broken circle of seashells and beach debris laid out in front of me. And I had something in my hand, like a little stick or a little piece of beach twig or something, and I was going in a figure-8 motion on the sand over and over again. And I had my eyes closed. I was like, I remember like I remember like closing my eyes tightly for a little while and doing that over and over again. And then the next thing I knew, my mom was standing behind me telling me like, what are you doing? Let's go. She's like, I couldn't even find you for a while. So I don't know how long I was there. It felt like a minute or two. All I can remember is a minute or two of this, but I could have been there 20 minutes. And as my mom was pulling my hand away, dragging me back to where she was, I looked back at the sand, to what I was like going, because I was going like this in the sand, you know, over and over again, like in a figure-8 pattern, sideways figure-8, like an infinity symbol almost. And I was going like this, and you know, I wasn't purposely drawing anything, but I was just going like a madman over and over again. And I remember when my mom was pulling my hand, I was looking back at the sand, and inside that little circle of shells that I had all sprawled out there, there was an image. There was like a face, and like all these faces like weaved into each other. You know, it looked like little alien faces and stuff, all interwoven into each other, interconnecting. And the figure-8s I was going like this with was making all little faces with eyes in the middle and everything, and they were all balled up together. And it was freaky. It was really creepy. Now, I don't remember ever doing that again for a while. Now, fast forward about 10-12 years to when I'm in my early 20s, and I decide to go out to California. And I literally you know, took a bus out of nowhere to Long Beach, all the way from New York City to LBC. From the NYC to the LBC, I basically took my guitar just to go sing beneath a tree, seriously. And I just went with the clothes wearing, and that's it, and my guitar on my back, and and just went spiritually where the world was taken to me for a couple of years. And when I got out to Long Beach, you all know I've had a lot of crazy experiences out there, but I ended up meeting up with some. We were like lost prophets, man. We all met each other, all from different areas of the country, and there was a few of us that got an apartment together. We all were renting this one place together, and my apartment building had an alley in the middle that connected to another apartment building right next to us. And there's a back door where you could sit in the alleyway, and the apartments across of us had a back door where you could sit in the alleyway, go back there and smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, play dominoes, play cards, and there was tables set up out there, right? So this black lady that lived behind us in the alleyway, I used to always talk to her. I was friends with her daughter. I used to blaze with her daughter sometimes, and we used to sit at the table back there and play cards and talk to each other. I was in my early 20s, and she was like in her mid 50s. So she was a lot older than me. She was like a mom type figure. I had no family out in California, nobody that I knew from before, just people that I met when I showed up there. So let me fix my phone. Hold on. I got a battery. All right, there we go. So I'm about to lose service. I'm about to lose my battery. So let me just finish the story real quick, and then we'll pick this up later. So I told her a lot about myself. We got very close because I had no family out there. She was like a mom figure to me, and I used to look out for her daughter and stuff in the street. Like if there was some guys I had to chase away from her one time and stuff, I came outside with a bat. So like they really liked me. They trusted me. And one day me and her were playing cards, and I shared a lot of stuff about myself with her. She knew a lot about me. I really cared about this woman. And I can't, the thing, I can't remember her first name right now, but I do remember her brother's name, because check this out. So me and her were playing cards, and I always had a notebook with me because I'm always writing lyrics and poems and always writing, right? So I had a notebook in front of me on the table, and we were playing rummy, and I was doodling on the notebook, and I kind of fell into a trance for a moment. And I was doing that again, and I didn't even realize it. I was doing that quick little writing, almost like some other unseen force is taking control of my hand. And I was writing that over and over again. I was scribbling on the page, and all of a sudden, I woke up out of my little trance I was in, and because she was yelling at me. She was like, "What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? What's wrong with you?" And she's like, "What are you?" She's like, "Are you some evil witch?" Because this was a hardcore Baptist Christian lady. She used to have a Baptist church on the same street, and then after the church, she would sell fish and chips out of her house. So she was a real religious lady, and she's yelling at me. And what I was doing, I actually drew her brother Terry that died many, many years ago. And I had his face, the same glasses he would wear, and the same little he had a bad leg, so he had a certain cane. I drew a whole sketch of him without even knowing it, without knowing who he was, without even knowing she had a brother that died. None of that. And she was freaked out. I always remember his name. She said, "That's my brother Terry. What the hell is fucking wrong with you?" She started yelling at me. And the sad thing is that I, at that moment, created a bad feeling about myself. I thought I was evil for a little while. I thought it was like an evil thing because she said it was, and I thought maybe it is, but it wasn't. I had care about this woman, and I tapped into the unseen forces, the ancestral memory around us, and her brother, I think, was reaching out to her in some sort of way through me. And that was the last time me and her spoke. She avoided contact with me, and